Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm looking at the Week 1 matchup between the New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. But before getting to the topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. I have to ask, who do you think is going to win this matchup? Of course, it had some rivalry to it in a sense because Sam Darnold used to be on the Jets, a team he just got dumped by. He's now with the Carolina Panthers and facing them Week 1. So who do you think is going to win that revenge game? Comment down below. But getting straight into it, this is a good matchup for that backstory. That is probably why the NFL put it for Week 1. You know, if you put this in Week 7, Week 8, Week 9, 11, 12, it's not going to matter anymore. If, the Jets are a 1-4 team and at Week 5 now they play. Week 1, it makes it more interesting. Colin Cowherd made a great point about that when I watched him earlier. Looking at this matchup, straight up, starting from each category, quarterback matchup. Say what you want about Sam Darnold. If you think he's a bust or not, I'm going to say he wins the quarterback matchup over Zach Wilson because I haven't even seen Zach Wilson play a single NFL snap. Sam Darnold, he's had some bumps along the road, but I see, to me at least, he has raw skill and talent, and the team he had to work with in New York is nothing compared to what Zach Wilson now has. Not to say Sam Darnold doesn't have help today with Carolina, but I do think Zach Wilson, day one, is already getting a lot more help than Sam Darnold ever did. But just looking at the two straight up, I do think Sam Darnold is a better quarterback. Looking at the running backs, I do like the Jets move by picking up Michael Carter in the 4th round. Very value player. I mean, for him to fall to the 4th round, I think that's a great move for a 4th round pickup. But come on, we're talking about a healthy Christian McCaffrey here. He's a top 5, top 3, maybe number 1 running back when healthy in the NFL. He's just an all-around dual threat when it comes to running the ball and receiving the football. Christian McCaffrey is such a good back. Panthers got the edge at quarterback and running back. Offensive line, you could argue it either way. I mean, Jets getting Elijah Vera Tucker, that might be a difference maker, but still, both of these lines aren't anything to brag about. I don't know if that's really what's going to determine who wins the football game on this one. But I guess if I had to give it an edge, I might give it to the Panthers. But again, it's neck and neck. You can't go wrong either way. Looking at the receiving core, Jets actually do have a receiving core that's not too bad anymore. I mean, you got Corey Davis in there. That's kind of your big physical guy that's going to do the go up and get it balls. You got the Denzel Mims, you got Jameson Crowder, you got Elijah Moore, Jameson Crowder, really guys that work on their craft when it comes to route running and just being shifty. Not a bad receiving core by any means, in my opinion. But on the other side of the football, with the Panthers having DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall Jr., Robbie Anderson, I'm going to go with the Panthers. A lot of the guys on the Jets, not a lot of the guys, one of the guys on the Jets, Elijah Moore, a guy that I like, but it being a rookie, I'm not going to count on him day one. You can say the same thing about Terrace Marshall, of course, but then just looking at the top 2 guys on each team, Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore versus Corey Davis and Denzel Mims, or Corey Davis and James Crowder, whoever you want to give it to, in my opinion, Panthers win the matchup just overall on offense. Head coach-wise, Matt Rule, he's been a head coach longer than Robert Saleh. Yeah, it's only 1 extra season, but I'm going to go with the offensive guy in Matt Rule and Joe Brady versus Robert Saleh. Looking at the defense, Jets did do some work there this offseason getting Carl Lawson. That was a pretty big pickup, but I'm still concerned about their cornerbacks. Marcus May is kind of the only notable guy back there in that secondary, and those cornerbacks being former, I believe they were former 5th and 6th rounders or something like that. That is going to be a big reason I like this Panthers team to possibly steal this game, because I don't see a former 5th or 6th rounder stealing or shutting down Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall. I think those guys are going to torch these corners. Like I said, the Jets do have talent. Carl Lawson, Quentin Williams, CJ Mosley. Williams got hurt, but I think he'll be back eventually. I don't know about Week 1, but we'll see about Quentin Williams. Jets do have talent there, but I do like this Panthers defense as well. We know how much they addressed it in the recent past. Got Hassan Reddick, you got Shaq Thompson, you got Denzel Murray, you got Derek Brown, you got Jeremy Chin, you got AJ Boye, you got JC Horn. That is a pretty solid Panthers defense. That, like I said, the Jets are getting better, but they're not going to be a great team. The Panthers team, I think they could fight for a possible wildcard spot. I'm not saying the Panthers are going to be this Super Bowl deep playoff team, but I think we could seriously see them maybe be in the hunt for a wildcard spot of the 5th, 6th, or 7th seed. The Jets, I think maybe they'll be fighting for 500. I think they'll be a pretty bad team again. Overall, I do like the Panthers better than the Jets in this matchup. I'm not a fan of either team by any means. I am a fan of the Bucs, but outside of the Bucs, I'm very unbiased, and I root for players at that point. And in this one, I'm rooting for Sam Darnold. I feel like he's a guy that has raw skill and talent, but he never got a fair chance. The Jets never gave him help. He was stuck with Adam Gase. He's Had Frank Gore as his running back last year. Now he's going to Christian McCaffrey. You can't tell me he's not automatically surrounded by more talent with just that comparison there. He's never had great receivers. As soon as he leaves, they go out and get Corey Davis and Elijah Moore. They're just treating Zach Wilson a lot better than Sam Darnold. I'm not saying, oh, screw the Jets for that. They're bad people for that, but I'm just saying they're already investing in Zach Wilson more than they ever did with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I still think he's a good player, and I think he could turn his career around in Carolina. And I'm excited to see this. I don't want to call it a revenge story, but there's got to be some backstories, some fairy tale, whatever you want to call it, to it that makes the game more interesting between these two matchups. And I don't want to call them rivals either, but still, it's an intriguing game that I'm definitely going to be watching on the first week of NFL kickoff. Again, I got the Panthers winning it. I just like their roster overall, not even outside of the quarterback matchup. Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall Jr., Hassan Reddick, Jeremy Chin, J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, Shaq Thompson, whatever you want to say, top to bottom, I think this Panthers team is very well put together. And like I said, I don't see them being a Super Bowl contender this year by any means, but I think in maybe 1 to 2 off seasons, they get one extra big pass rusher, one more great corner, one more receiver, one more tackle, whatever you want to call it. I think there may be 1 to 2 off seasons. When the tide finally changed, and this Panthers team might be a Super Bowl contender. Of course, that's dependent on Sam Darnold being a guy that does turn his career around. But either way, week 1, it's going to be a great game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be close, at least in the beginning. I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers pull away in the sense that they're not shutting, or they're not, just putting up 45 points. But I could see them, having 3, 4, 5 scores. And the Jets struggling to put up points, I don't know, but I do think it'll be at least in somewhat contention in the beginning of the game, and the most of the game might be competitive. Overall, I do think it'll be worth watching, and I love the matchup, but I do have the Panthers stealing it. Jets will give them a fight. I don't think they'll come away with the win. As always, guys, I do want to hear your opinion. A couple things, like I said, question of the day. Who do you think will win, Panthers or Jets? And another one that I'm very curious about from hearing from you guys, do you think Sam Darnold will turn his career around with the Carolina Panthers? I think so, but still very early on, and we haven't even seen him take a snap with them, so it is definitely up for debate. And as always, guys, of course, I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. 2-minute warning.